When you see her, it's almost like watching a queen walk through.
She is probably the most famous person in the state of Louisiana.
This isn't a person who's just owning a team because she got the team from someone else. This is a businesswoman.
Saints owner Gayle Benson plans to give New Orleans a gift too. Her succession plan comes with a promise.
Billions of dollars to the city. That's what she wants to do. That's impact she and Mr. Benson want to have for this community.
I'm excited for people to get to know who you are. I know so many people are used to calling you Mrs. Benson or Mrs. B. Can I call you Gayle today?
Yes, of course you can. I always tell people, call me whatever you feel comfortable with.
Great. Then we will go with Gayle today, if that's okay.
That's perfect.
Walk me through your childhood. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up on the West Bank, lived in a little tiny house. We had a very humble beginning. It wasn't glamorous. We had to work for everything we got. I did get married at 19, and I was married for a year, and then I got divorced, and I moved back into my parents' house. Second time I got married, I married this man because he had 2 kids, and I thought God was telling me to take these kids on. That second marriage that I did was a mistake. When I was growing up, my mother said to me, good girls get married, have babies, and they stay at home. Well, that was in the 60s. That just didn't work. I was like, no. When I found out I couldn't have children at 28, I decided I'm just going to start a business and I'm just going to roll. And that's what I did. So then 20 years go by, and then Tom Benson comes along.
Do you think that there was a level of respect from that first date with Mr. B because of your background in business?
I think there was. You know, I was interior design for 30 years, and all I was focused on was my interior design business and just making places beautiful. You know, I had my own real estate, my own house, my business, and I said at 57 years old to myself, I'm thinking, I don't need anybody to take care of me. I've done pretty good all these years. And then he was very persistent. He kept calling, and finally I took his call. The rest is history. He was the first man in my life that I think really loved me and respected me for who I was. And I just loved him. And I think he felt that love.
Tom Benson no longer with us, but his presence will long be felt in New Orleans.
The entire National Football League remembering one of the great owners in NFL history.
His heart and his spirit are all New Orleans, and we love him for it, and we're just going to miss him really badly.
It was hard when my husband died. It really is. You know, and you think about him every day. I mean, you know, all day long. I mean, that's all you think about. It's everywhere in the office, everywhere here. And you know, I'm sorry. You know, I still want it to be about him. I mean, I feel like, you know, God gave him a gift and a lot of talent to make a lot of money. And he passed that gift on to me. And I feel a responsibility for him.
When I think about Mr. Benson's decision to hand the future of the Pelicans and the Saints to you, did he ever ask you if you wanted it?
No, he just told me. He said, darling, when I die, this is what's going to happen. I was like, okay. He said, it's going to be tough. He said, but you're strong and you can handle it.
The top 2 teams collide here in New Orleans.
Talk about a baptism by fire. In your first year being an owner, you dealt with the NFC Championship and the no call.
Hit early! Where's the flag? Unbelievable no call!
Wow.
And then Anthony Davis requesting a trade.
Anthony Davis has no intention of signing an extension.
What was all of that like?
You know, the first couple of years I was a little shaken personally, but as far as the business went, I had that.
Saints owner Gayle Benson is doing her part to lobby for rule changes to make sure the no call doesn't happen again.
Gayle's calling on help from the other owners. She says it will take time, but they will get there.
Whether it's interior design, basketball, football, it's all about the business. And that's the part I enjoy most about the Saints and the Pelicans and everything else we're involved in. Hey, DeMario, how you doing?
I am good.
So good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see
Congratulations on such a great
you.
game.
Thank you.
When I think about the first time that I met Miss Benson, I'd heard a lot of good things about her. And we got to know her a lot more, got to learn her story. She got to learn ours. She's very tapped in to her players. And one of the main things that sticks out about her and her attention to detail, every newspaper article that comes out that has a player or a coach, she signs it, sends well wishes. You know, at the end of the year, I have, 20-something articles, in my locker that Ms. Benson has sent to me, just that she could take that time out of her day to do that in the midst of all the businesses and different things that she has going on. It just says a lot about her character.
There's a warmth that comes through in the way she interacts with the staff, with the players, and with people in this community. It's really helped to change the culture here.
Mrs. Benson has really shown me that you can lead a large organization with a lot of empathy, compassion, kindness, and just a sense of family.
People bring up so much when they talk about Mr. Benson's legacy and ultimately yours, that you have no heirs. Does that hurt you at all?
It really doesn't, because people are curious. They want to know. It has to go somewhere, so you give it away. I grew up here, and I feel like when you grow up in a city, you need to help the people in that city.
Gayle Benson says she's ready to make a commitment to the city and the fans about what will happen to the Saints.
Her succession plan comes with a promise. Proceeds from the sale of the team will go to the New Orleans area, a yearly multi-million-dollar windfall. And when the team changes hands, it must remain in New Orleans.
The most important thing is that the Saints and the Pelicans stay in New Orleans. I do not want them to ever leave New Orleans. And then the rest of it's going to go to some of the arts and the Catholic Church and the Archdiocese and museums and a lot of the schools, ballet, and everything else that needed money in this city. They'll all benefit from that.
And no one likes to talk about money, particularly in the South, but how much is in that trust?
Oh, it's a lot. It's billions. But again, it's going to help a lot of people.
The magnitude of the gift that Mrs. Benson will leave to the city and to the community is immeasurable. There will be, generations in the future who will be able to achieve great things because Mrs. Benson was so generous.
It was no surprise to me when I learned the news that Mrs. Benson is going to leave her fortunes to the city. The city is her baby, right? It almost makes sense that that's what she's decided to do.
One of your legacies is that you are continuing to give back to New Orleans and invest in businesses.
I feel a responsibility to help people that are here.
All right, we're on our way to Lafayette to meet Laurel Hess, the founder of Hamper. What do you think about Laurel?
I'm so excited for her. I'm just so looking forward to her being more successful than she already has been.
You were able to support this business through Benson Capital Partners. Tell me a little bit more about that.
We started this fund a while back, and it was to help entrepreneurs become more successful. And what we do is we invest in people that bring us their ideas, if we like them.
Do you find that it's hard for women to pitch their ideas sometimes and get funding for some of their businesses?
Oh, I think as long as women carry themselves well and they're confident in what they're doing and they know what they're doing, I think they can be very successful in anything they want to do.
How you doing? Good to see you.
Good. Good to see you too.
Thank you.
Thank you for
I'm
having
Jane.
us.
Nice to meet you. How are you? Explain to me what Hamper is.
So Hamper is a peer-to-peer marketplace for laundry, on-demand laundry. So it's a lot like Uber.
You've got people who are stay-at-home parents, retirees, can't leave their home for long periods of time, and they are our washers. And we match them up with people who want to outsource their laundry.
Gayle, it's one thing to have something pitched to you and invest the money, but I imagine it's another thing to see it in action.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, when people pitch things to us and we invest in it, you just have an idea of what they're doing.
Right.
And then you look at the numbers. But when you actually get to see it and then you see them progressing so quickly, I mean, it's very humbling.
The return on investment right now is 500%.
Yes, it's so exciting. I mean, I just can't tell you how happy I am.
We wouldn't have been able to do it without you.
Well, thank you.
For the next generation of young women, Gayle, specifically you have two goddaughters, Steve Gleason's and Drew Breese's. What's your advice to them?
Don't compromise and always be true to yourself. I think that's the best advice I could give them.
I think she's, leaving things better for the next generation of women simply by how thoughtfully and carefully she is building the composition of her own staff and organization to be representative.
Being a father of 4 daughters is very important for them to have examples to show them good ways to lead, good ways to live. When I look at Mrs. Benson, AKA Queen Bee, it's women like her that I want to point my daughters to an example. I think it's just an amazing thing just to see all that she's been through and how that has prepared her and shaped her for the woman that she is today.